All right. And that sound means it's the start of another Missile for the Masses. This is the Chaplain's Assistance Motor Pod. And I'm the host, Gary. And with me, as always,
Casey from Podcast from the Pit.
and Casey, welcome back. It's been a while, too long. Anyway, so it's been a while, and we're kind of winging it tonight. So hopefully some people join us and just really want to talk about the past year, uh, what's happened in our worlds of collecting and what's going on, with things, products that have come out, media or whatever, just things that have excited us and brought us joy, or just talk a little bit about the year that was, and maybe towards the end we can talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to for next year.
Sounds good.
So start off, past month, uh I've gotten a couple new things. uh the Kickstarter for the compendium, I got that came in.
So
uh
jealous. It looks so good.
it is a very well put together product. It is, words can't describe. I finally opened it up actually today.
Mm-hmm.
I had everything, but I hadn't opened up the physical pages, and the quality on this thing is beyond my wildest hopes. The
Mm-hmm.
uh, the I guess it's faux leather. The binding and stuff. It's just such a wonderful presentation. You do lose a little bit in the gutters, where the binding is. But for what I bought it for, which is basically to not go into my originals,
Mm-hmm.
it will serve the purpose pretty well. Um, if you're a guy that really wants to look at a comic book, I still believe in buying the monthlies.
Yes.
And, I know that a lot of people are trade waiters, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, that's not how I enjoy comics.
Right.
And, you know, that's really the biggest thing I've gotten lately. Casey, you got anything lately?
The last new thing I got, besides got this new desk for Christmas for my wife. I got some new podcast stuff, but I don't have it set up yet. Got a new lighting system, so hopefully it looks better. I have a new camera, which I don't have hooked up yet. Just came in today. But I mean, fun stuff, toy wise. I mean, I've got the Robo Skull, which I still haven't opened.
I see it over your left shoulder.
Yeah, I still not opened that. I want to. It's just we've been so busy with most jobs. You get time off for holidays. We got Christmas. That's it. And so I've just been busy, and of course Sundays I spend in Louisville with my granddaughter. So, but she
Yeah.
did see my toy room for the first time yesterday.
Ooh, how did she respond to the toy room?
I think maybe because the Masters of the Universe is so colorful, it really caught her eye, which I'm happy about because I've got her some She-Ra stuff put back for when she's older.
Good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, she can do what she wants with. I hope she plays with them, but if she wants to just sell them to hers, so
Yeah, no, that's, it's still wonderful, get them young, and, I'm envious. We have a mutual friend, Jason. His son has grown up with vintage Joes and has
right.
also had the temperament and mindset to handle them, um, in a way that he isn't just completely destroying 35, 40, 45-year-old toys. My
Right.
son was not that. I could not give him a vintage Joe. It would have been immediately smash.
Yeah. And what's so amazing also about that, I mean, he also has a figure that he designed coming out in Operation Recall.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
was
I
actually
mean,
looking through my Operation Recall
yeah,
cards this morning.
yeah. So I'm excited for that. I couldn't imagine growing up. I mean, I love my dad. He was great, but to have a dad with the exact same hobbies like that's got to be great for him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just to be able to connect on that level. Yeah, my kid's turning into a sports kid,
That's not bad.
and it's not bad. I was a big baseball kid.
I still love baseball.
My son though is like soccer. He's Messi
Love
and
soccer too.
Ronaldo, and I know nothing about soccer other than, don't touch it with your hands.
Right. Unless you're the goalie.
Yeah, unless, holy,
But yeah, I love soccer. I've been a soccer fan for like last 15 years. I caught a Manchester United game on TV, and that was just it. Manchester United's my team, even though we're trash right now. So
yeah. Well, anyway, so more about 2024. So Casey, did you have any favorite gets from this past year for 2024 toy wise, comic wise? Maybe start with
you
toys.
know, certain toys, and I'm going to sound like a shill, but the Delta 17 figures are awesome. Got a new batch in, some troop builders because they had the 20% off.
Yeah.
I am a troop builder.
I did for this. I brought down my display Delta 17. I brought two of them down. I brought down the Okami leader. I can't think of his name.
Shadow Dragon.
Shadow Dragon, and I also brought down Death Sparrow. Because I have to agree, the Delta 17 coming out of the gate the way they did, still to impresses me.
Yes.
Actually launched as a real toy line, no Kickstarter. They just Ken from Toy Connections and his partner
Steve,
they took a huge gamble, and they did it right. And it's amazing. By far, that is, for me, my favorite line to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I had a pretty good toy year. I mean, I will say it's like I said, wrapping up with the Robo Skull, but I can't wait to open that. Trying to find a place where doing some rearranging so I can make some room for it.
It's big. It really is. Were you able to get the stand?
Yeah.
Good. The stand really helps, in my opinion. Mine's displayed up in my bedroom because, toys belong in the bedroom.
Well, this used to be my bedroom. Now it's the toy room.
Right. So
I moved all my Joes. I have a very nice shelf over across from me. And I moved all my Joes over there except for my Terror Drone. I love showing that off, so I'm going to keep it over here. And the flag's coming back out. I've made room for it. It's coming back out over there with the rest of the Joes.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't done anything with my flag lately.
Yeah.
It's still sitting over my shoulder. So it's Delta 17 came out like that. That is like my favorite O-ring line. But I hate saying this because I don't want to be mean about it, but it's not my favorite O-ring figure. My favorite O-ring figure is the O-ring Skeletron from Skeletron.
Yeah.
Marauders, I believe. This is still my favorite O-ring figure from the entire year.
I don't think it's Marauders. I think it's this the same company that did Ghost from
yes, Call Sign Longbow. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think what that company is because they do fantastic toys. And it's gonna kill me that I can't come up with it off the top of my head. I think the Marauders is more for their 4-inch.
Okay, that's where I got confused.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like him. I like him this way. With the regular head. Yeah. I love the backpack storage. I'm sorry, that is next level. The storage for the pistol. And it's nothing against the Delta 17 line because I think by far that is the strongest line that we got. And it is my favorite. But this guy has gotten so much play and just me fiddling with it. And they're displayed next to my Delta 17s upstairs.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I love them both. I really do. But
They're complimentary for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Both great.
Yeah.
I mean, both big wins this year, I think, for our 1/18 scale.
Yeah, for the O-ring line, yeah. And I'm looking forward to, obviously the other O-ring lines coming out, Legends of the Hidden Force, Call Sign Longbow, the rest of it.
Yeah.
And Operation Recall.
Yep.
So I think
I can't even tell you what the Operation Recall figures I ordered are. It's been that long. I didn't get to go all in because, finances were what they were at the time. So I think I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm just going to be surprised when they come in. Surprised and happy.
Right. Yeah. No, I think I did the double all in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've got some stupid. I mean, I know other people that are much more stupid into that line than I, but I did Kickstarter stuff. I can honestly say my 2025 is going to be less spending than it was than this year and less than the year before. That's really, just like, where do you stop? These
Right.
guys are putting out good product. There's a lot of FOMO,
Oh, yeah.
a little bit, it was like cutting out classifieds,
Yeah.
which I'm still not completely out,
Yeah,
but
about a Grenadier. That's it. Honestly, I'm happy with that. I don't have to stress looking for them. The figures look really nice, but I've got the 1/18 scale that figure they've already
yeah,
got there. So
yeah. And I liked, I picked up 2 classified figures really this year. I picked up Once a Man Cobra Commander, and I picked up uh, Nemesis Enforcer, Nemesis Immortal. Because I really like the fact that Cobra Law is getting is in my opinion, much needed love.
let's get improvements.
But 6-inch figures, let's talk 6-inch for a little bit.
Okay.
I gotta say, I picked up a few. I've had a few flow through my hands. I've kept, like I said, the 2 ones I kept, Once a Man Coco and Nemesis Immortal. And those are my favorites overall. But I mean, there was a wealth of really good 6-inch coming out. And Casey, you're doing more with 6-inch scale than me at the moment. So what's your, tell me a little bit about what you've been going through on 6-inch.
Honestly, I got into Valverse a little late into the game, so I had to do a lot of eBay to get the early ones I was missing. I like those really well. I think they're well made. I like the Operation Monster Force figures, but to me, the cost is just a little too much for what you get. I mean, they're beautiful, but for the cost, they're really not that much better than a classified or a Valverse figure. I got 4 Operation Monster Force, and that's where I'm stopping because they're just too pricey to me. Everybody gets them. I hope you love them. I got a buddy in Australia. It's all he talks about now is Operation Monster Force, and I couldn't be happier for him. But to me, just trying to fill in the gaps on I don't know if you call it Action Force, Valverse, I'm not sure what, but I like those because I've never had those figures before. And thank you for sending me the Tracer for Christmas. That came out of the blue. I really appreciate that. I love troop builders.
Yeah.
It's like I was putting out my Doctor Who figures today because I had to rearrange some stuff, and I've got 30 Cybermen. I don't know if you know what a Cyberman is.
I'm sorry, I'm not a Whovian.
Yeah, it's a bad guy, but I've got 30 of them in the 5.5 inch figures.
Okay.
I didn't realize I had that many. I just buy them when I find them.
Do you have a favorite 6-inch figure that you handled, or? this year?
For this year, so there's, I like the Cavalry Garrison that they just put out, Valverse version. I don't know if you call it version 2 but it was a re-release, so I was able to get them for what they come out at 24 or something like that. To where I
Okay.
bought one earlier in the year, like version 1 for like 50 on eBay. So I was able to get 2 more for the same price of 1. And I love that troop builder. I think the gray and the dark red really complement each other, and I like the medieval looking helmets. So yeah, that's probably my favorite 6-inch figure I got this year. Yeah, I'd say it's probably
Okay. Yeah, I will tell you, the Swarm Tracer,
yeah.
that was on my shelf for a very long time. And it just, at the end of the day, when you're all of a sudden you realize I'm a little over my head, and it's like, number one, I knew, Casey, no offense, I knew who to send it to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I know somebody that's really going to appreciate it, but
And I do.
it was
Yeah.
it was a really cool update of the Swarm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice that it came in a single package. It really was. I really enjoyed that. But the quick kick figure from GI Joe Classified, really awesome. And I got a lot of play out of that. But I kind of got to go with Nemesis Enforcer, as my favorite 6-inch of the year, because it's just huge. The only problem I have with it is I wish it balanced a little better. But
I would say that's a lot of what I'm hearing is like standing issues with him. He looks amazing.
yeah. And I got him, like I said, I got him kind of, fitted so he doesn't fall over with Cobra Commander, hanging like as his prisoner and stuff. So it works. So I'm really, the 6-inch scale still excites me. I like looking at him, but it's just, it's really got to really grab me and it's got to keep me. And, like you said, you're going after characters and concepts that you've never had before. And for me, it's got to be that, but it's also got to be something for me. It's got to have a lasting power, because it has to be in a separate area displayed than the rest of my collection.
Right. Hey, Zazel's on.
Yeah.
What's up, Zazel?
Yeah, Zazel. Thank you. Wishing us a Christmas, Merry Christmas, or Happy Post Boxing Day to you. And yeah, thanks for swinging by. Nice to see you again.
Yeah. Also, a new line that I started picking up at Joe Fest was Dime Novel Legends or Dime
Novel Legends. You had it right.
Yes. I confused myself. Love those figures.
And
I love Westerns, always have.
And that's a 4-inch line, modern construction. So that's actually, well, let's talk 4-inch. So you're getting into Dime Novel Legends. What else in the 4-inch scale have you done, or you looking for, or?
Well, I'm doing Skeletron, the 4-inch. I just got the Jungle Trooper in.
I want to get that. I really want to get. Awesome. I want to army build that one.
Yeah. And I have the Gary Goggles one. I had that for a while.
Yep.
And I have another 4-inch. I forget what it is. It probably comes with one in the Robo Skull too, right? 4-inch.
The Gary Goggles was an add-on.
Yeah, I got him. It comes with the figure though, right? I hadn't even opened my box yet.
So you have so if you have the regular Robo Skull Mark II, you get. I really hope I don't have any of the paperwork next to me, but I want to say it's Blood Wolf. It's Red Wolf or Blood Wolf. But
yeah, I think it's Blood Wolf.
Yeah, and the real thing is, and I got him here. It's the Bob Brecken action figure, and I love it. And Zazel's with you on the He is also a big Western fan, and he's also tempted by dime novel legends.
Yeah, I tried my best not to buy them. I gave in on at Joe Fest. I ended up coming home with like 15 of them.
You're hanging with Joel too much, I bet, at Joe Fest.
Well,
Joe
actually,
from War
Joe
and Battle
was
Pod.
telling me about them like for a year and a half, but I was like, you know what? I don't need another line. I don't need another line. Well, once I got there, I got to hold a couple and see them. And I mean, I was raised on Westerns. I always loved them, always will. And so happy to get them.
Yeah, the Skeletron 4-inch stuff has been top notch. That's where I'm at for my 4-inch, for what I'm really truly enjoying. But again, it's gonna be like my favorite line, Skeletron.
Right.
And I really do want to get those Jungle Troopers. I really, really do. But the one that I really stood out was when we were at Joe Fest, and again doing this whole thing, off the hip, was the Masters of the Universe inspired 4-inch figure
Oh yeah.
that I can't. It was the sorcerer.
Dread. It was Dread something, wasn't it? And it was Skeletor, but I
Yeah, it
forget
was
what they
basically a
call it.
Skeletor version. I have him upstairs. I didn't make it down here in time for the show, but yeah, he's definitely an awesome 4-inch, and because I got the Robo Skull now, it's like now I kind of got this thing going on. It's like, what am I going to do with 4-inch figures? My wife, we have in the basement. There's an IKEA cabinet that I haven't set up yet.
Hmm.
My wife's like, "When are you going to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, I finally moved enough stuff that I can set it up, and it's kind of enough room for us, Robo Skull in there, and I might now have a place for all my 4-inch stuff."
Nice.
So that's hopefully going to do something with that. But yeah, the 4-inch stuff is just, you know, the Marauders and Skeletron, man.
Yeah. Time Novel Legends is right there with them. I think somebody told me that you can actually mix Marauders and Dime Novel Legends, but I can't tell you 100% if that's true or not. That's just what I heard. Be nice if it's true.
Yeah, no, the independent, the small indies are doing wonderful work right now.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
But yeah, now I'm fidgeting with Bob Brecken now during the show.
Yes, Hazel, we are just it is a great time to be a toy collector.
Yeah, especially now that there's guys that are much more talented and skilled, and even working on their skills with their talents to
Yeah.
bring more stuff together. And the best thing is, most of them talk to each other and they want their stuff to work with each other.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's such a huge win for guys like us.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, these are all small companies with people doing stuff they love. They're not working for the big companies out there that's just going to keep throwing the same crap at you 24/7. They're building stuff that excites them, which in turn excites us.
And they're building story, like news story. Call Sign Longbow has a comic book. Valaverse has had some. I don't know if they're still doing it. But I know they have some issues in a trade paperback out.
Mm-hmm.
And an Operation Recall has, hinted. Well, they basically said they've looked into doing a comic book for that, and that's huge. So we're getting new stories, new characters, and it's new. Like you said, it's people that care, and that was one thing too. And I'm going to switch back a little bit to the Kickstarter for the compendium, the G.I. Joe compendium. Ronnie Trickshot just showed up. So, hi,
Nice.
Ronnie. Oh,
hey, Joe Hunter 73.
Joe Hunter 73. Good evening. Welcome. And this is cool. All right. So where was I going with this? Okay. So with the Kickstarter, they had sets of cards. So I made sure I got all the cards for the Kickstarter, and it's like 37 cards, which kind of annoys me because I put them in a binder, so I have one card
Right.
on its own page.
Yeah.
But the but it was a great way to see all the different creators creating art for each card. You got, you know, Andy Kubert, Chris Mooneyham, Larry Hama, Rod Wiggum, Ron Wagner. And it was great to see then and now, and just the way to look at, and Ron Wagner stuff still is just so bold and dramatic, and Rod Wiggum stuff is just like fun and exciting. Like Rod Wiggum did the Tomax and Zaymot card, and it's just so fun. It's just that perfect, it's like opening up issue for me. It's like opening up issue number 37 again. And it's just like, I just love it. And thank you for doing it. And I'm just so happy because even Skybound, is excited about what they're doing.
Yeah. I would say, not to have any spoilers, but I would say that right now, as far as Skybound, who have been killing it with the Joe's comics, right now, Larry Hama is destroying the other one.
We haven't
enjoying it.
Did you read the latest issue?
Yes, I did. I read
okay.
Today.
All right. Yeah. So we didn't talk about that in the past week. So that's why we're not talking about the issue this week. Right. But hopefully,
I'm just excited. I just read it. I'm so excited. It was so good.
The last 3 issues of Real American Hero have been the best it's been since the first 3 issues since they came back. So I don't know what's going on over there, but whatever they're doing, they need to keep doing it. Mm-hmm. And because to me, without a Real American Hero, that's like it shouldn't be, but it is to me the heartbeat of Joe Comics.
Well, I mean, yeah, it definitely is. For sure.
But I can't discount Energon Universe for being the future. Hopefully it's a long-term future of Joe in Transformers comics.
And I'm not even a Transformers guy, but the Transformer comics is killing it too. It's so good.
We have, we talked about it earlier. The Josh Williamson has another year left, or about, what is he? He's 16, so he's got about 8 or 9 more issues.
Mm-hmm.
So we know I can pretty much promise Casey, at least, or any listeners, that book is going to be good through, August, September of next year.
Right.
We know what to expect. It's going to be good work. Oh, and Zazel's appreciating the love for the G.I. Joe and Transformers toys. Yes, absolutely. Zazel might be kind of biased with their last offering. Sergeant Slaughter and Cup and Leatherneck, of course. But the Joe book's totally designed to sell classified, and I'm there for that.
Yeah.
And Void Rivals is too, because we got Cobra Law in there, which makes me happy.
I'm telling you, Cobra Law, they're making me like Cobra Law. I did not like them, but they're adding so much to Cobra Law to make them interesting, and it's working.
I really think what it was for you was the issue number 1 of Cobra Commander had version 4 of Cobra Commander in it, 1991 Cobra Commander, Disco Coco. Yeah. I think that's what sold you, because I know that's like your favorite figure in the entire line. But yeah, no, it's been good. If they could come out with a Optimus Prime with a Megatron arm,
Oh yeah.
I might have to buy that.
Yeah. That's been one of my favorite things. I was talking to a guy at the comic book store. I'm sorry to go off on this one,
No, no,
but
no. Let's go. We're talking comics.
he's a big GI Joe guy. You know, he's got the Arashikage tattoo on his arm. So we always talk when I go in there, and he's asked me what I was thinking of the new ongoing series, and I was like, ugh, you know, not a big fan. I've got hopes that it will turn into something I really like because I don't hate it. It's just, I don't know, it's been predictable, whatever. And he's like, he was crying because one of his favorites, we were tears, but he's crying for one of his favorite characters was killed at the end of issue 1. And he's like, and I was sitting there laughing that Bumblebee got smoked in issue 1. I'm
I
like,
mean,
yeah, they don't.
yeah, nobody's safe in these comics, and I think that, you know, as mature readers, we kind of need that because it lends unpredictability to a story. You know, we're not creating characters to have them die off, like
Right.
Quinn and Flag and the Softmaster and Candy and almost Billy.
Snake Eyes one time.
Well, yes, he's dead and come back twice now. Because remember, he did that in G.I. Joe America's Elite, which technically was a continuation of a real American hero until IDW said, hey, we're going to bring Larry Hama back.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it still freaks me out when his clone's talking.
yeah, we'll so spoiler for 2025, we will talk G.I. Joe 213. That is probably coming up in the next couple weeks. As soon as I write down a schedule, which again, when we get to looking forward to 2025, we'll talk a little more about that. But anyway, but yeah, the comics, Real American Hero, because it was kind of soft earlier this year. It's really kind of hard to say that when the G.I. Joe minis, the Duke and Cobra Commander, and it's really hard to do a proper summary of this right now, Casey, because we are way behind on that
Way
stuff.
behind. Yes.
Because that's my fault. And anybody listening,
It's life.
Yeah, it's been life on my end, and Casey's been, you know, again 2024. Casey joins, so
Yeah.
that's been a huge help for me and for this show.
And a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that goes back to June when we finally kind of made it official. So
yeah,
so that's been awesome. So that's been a good thing to look back this year on. But yeah, it's been when those were ramping up, it was kind of like the Real American Heroes. I was like, well, we're going to talk for 3 pages about what happened 3 pages ago. And then finally things got in place. And I just really think it was a rhythm thing. And that's my outsider looking in with no insider knowledge at all, because I don't want to be privy to that because I think there's sometimes too much access.
right.
But like for me, and for me, the Energon universe on the Joe side started really strong, and it's
Right.
kind of been like, you know, exactly the opposite of the way Larry Hama writes. It's like they got a plot line, and then the characters fit the plot, versus Larry Hama just coming up with a plot point and letting the characters develop the story. So I think there's been a little bit of, you know, restructuring on that. Because honestly, the Energon universe, the Void Rivals has been really good lately. The last
Mhm.
the last issue of Void Rivals I actually really enjoyed. And
I
and
haven't read the
Transformers
note
is
yet.
and Transformers has been really good.
Yeah, every issue of Transformers has been really good to me. Keeps my attention. I'm like I said, I've never been the biggest Transformers guy, but he's doing such a great job there. Zazel had a good comment about Cobra Law down here. I love Fatal Fluffies.
Yeah, Fatal Fluffies. Yeah, Joe was always a bit, Zazel says, for those listening, I always kind of like Cobra Law. Joe was always a bit sci-fi before the movie. Fatal Fluffies, for instance. And I agree. I absolutely agree that, you know, my biggest thing was when the GI Joes went to ancient Egypt and they floated on the river Styx with Ra. Um, how can you get upset at Cobra Law when you had that like a year
Right.
and a half
Yeah.
before? Um, you know, and it is what it is. It's a cartoon for kids. I was 7. I was 7 in 1987. So I was the target demo for the cartoon.
I was a lot older. The Joe Hunter's got a great one too, and that's 100% correct right there. It's not the figure of the week that Larry Hama has to push now. So I feel like, but then again, it was also when he was doing IDW, he wasn't having to push Hasbro figures either.
No, and this is where you can see a difference in, I think, editorial direction. And I think editorial is, maybe they realized, let's not tell Mr. And like I said, all speculation. Let's tell Mr. Hama not to write for a trade. Just write. Write great
Yeah.
stories. Write stories. Treat every comic like it's a reader's first comic, and see where it goes. Because it's definitely been Hama back to form the last 3 issues. It just absolutely, it's been the era from issue 1 to issue 73, 76 for a lot of guys. And for me, it's really Hama all the way until the 130s with when they introduced Transformers. I
Yeah.
really don't think there's a lot of bad stories in there.
Huh.
So,
And the thing is, I've got most of those in trade paperback. So when I do my rereads, I read those. I don't have a couple of the real expensive trade paperbacks, but maybe they'll come down in price now that the compendium's out.
yeah, you'll probably see that. I mean, we saw, 3D Joe's Carson Metaxas. As soon as the compendiums came out, he immediately listed all his other versions of the reprints. So, I mean, yeah, those will be more available, I believe, now that the compendiums are out and in force. Um, because frankly, I have all my original I have all my original comics, and I like, it's if you listen to this, I was a subscriber from issue 136 to the end. So but I don't want to open them up anymore.
Yeah.
It's like they're fragile 35-year-old things, and just I don't know. It's you know, some people call me a Philistine, Stephen. Uh, but that's the way you get. It's like you kind of got this cool thing, and you don't want to be after 30 years, you ruin it.
I mean, if you can read the same comic without damaging it, why wouldn't you just read it the other way? You know what I mean?
Right. And Casey's laughing. Joe Hunter 73. Just like Pigs in Space, it was Dreadnoks in space along with the Fatal Fluffies. Oh,
You cannot go
Muppets
wrong with that.
reference. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So, oh man. But yeah, I gotta say the Joe comics have really rocked it for the most part. Um the Cobra Commander mini has been my favorite Energon Universe book. I don't like it was like the book really created a villain I wanted to hate. And it was just, I don't know what else to say. It was just, overall, it was the strongest 5-issue storyline.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, we were spoiled right off the bat because Duke was great. They took a vanilla character and made him awesome. Cobra Commander, they made him the psychopath I always thought he could be. I loved it. Destro, I love Destro. It's one of my all-time favorite characters, and I thought that miniseries was great. Scarlet started out great, ended up okay. Just 2 issues into the ongoing series, I'm just not into it yet, and I hope that changes.
Yeah, and
I'm not giving up.
I'm not giving it up either. But it's like you said, it's been the slowest to start. Each of the other series started really strong, and this one has seemed to be, I don't want to call it a wet fart, but almost like they're relying a little bit more on shock and awe rather than, gripping story. It just seems, everything just seems to just be, when you want your amplifier turned to 10, like this one's like at a 7 or an 8 right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I always view stuff on how I would do it, even though I'm not a creative person. They didn't pick a very cool team in my opinion, to start off with. And I don't know. Just I hope it gets better because I want to support it. I love everything else the Energon Universe is doing, and so I just gonna hang in there and hope.
I'm waiting for Cobra Law to come back into the G.I. Joe series.
I'm waiting for that second Joe team to show up. Let's see who's in that.
Yeah. Well, we know
maybe
it's
that'll be
Lady
more
J.
for me. Right. But we haven't seen a Snake Eyes yet. And
no,
to
we
me,
haven't.
That would be a team for him.
Who knows? I mean,
right.
We still really have just touched on the Arashikage as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen really Scarlet and Storm Shadow or Jinx. So there's still a lot going on. And Casey, maybe you can help me. Ronnie's saying Gary equals Goliath, so I can only assume he's talking about the cab over engine 18-wheeler from Knight Rider. So don't know about that. But yeah, but it's been a good year overall in G.I. Joe comics. I'm really happy when something has something across the currently 4 titles. At one time it was 5. Something has always been hitting really good. Like I could, message you or say something like, "Have you read this? This has been really good." There's always been one title. Transformers has consistently been, up there, but we've always had something good to talk about, something good to read. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we go in the following year with the comics. And Zazel is now revealing himself to be a closet Mask fan. He likes the way they put together teams for every episode. I am behind on my Mask rewatch. I know it's out there on YouTube.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a very interesting idea. There's so many Joe characters. Just imagine if they did just do that. Like, hey, we got this mission coming up. These are the 5 people who are best suited for it. Let's send them. I mean, it's a great idea.
And that's where I've talked about before. Yeah, okay. So Goliath means Ronnie says I was the way I collect comics. The where was I going with this? What was I saying? Oh yeah. So the special teams, there was a series in the 1980s that worked that way, special missions. And
me too. I liked it.
And I think they should totally do another anthology series. I know Joe Malone from Joe on Joe Pod, he knows why anthology series don't typically work in comic books, but I don't know. It's probably the same reason why they don't have, X-Men doesn't have an anthology book, something like that. But you can kind of do it like maybe Suicide Squad. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They need, what they need to do. I'm sorry. They need to have, and I'm going out there. I was saving this joke for later, but you know what? They need to have a Downtown limited series. He's just, I'm going to have a Downtown appreciation month maybe next year.
If they did a Downtown comic, I would probably read it, see if it's any good.
Yeah, Downtown and Short Fuse, you know, the going
I
around.
like short fuse. I like short fuse.
I mean, there's such a huge well of characters, you know. And I don't know why I'm picking on Downtown lately because we were talking about the Thunderclap, and I'm like, you know, there's the guy with the special ed helmet on
Yeah.
the box, and it's like nobody talks about Downtown.
When I was talking to that guy today about he's talking about rock and roll getting killed in the issue 1.
Zazel having
Yeah.
some fun with "You're going downtown."
I was like, well, it's okay if they kill him because now they can just bring in Roadblock, and if they kill Roadblock, they can just bring in Repeater. I mean, every Joe has a replacement already. That's how you make figures.
Yes, it is how they make figures. I think the other thing too, well, you know, no, but because we just talked about having separate teams, you
Yeah.
know, Team Alpha, Rock and Roll, Team Bravo, Roadblock, you know, Team Charlie, Repeater, you know, GI Joe fights on multiple fronts. They are not just always a small special squad. They are essentially a battalion.
Yeah.
With that roster of characters they have, that the only time Joe's really died, in the Marvel series was when Larry Hama goes to Hasbro. Is there anybody you're not making figures of anymore? And they said, well, you can get rid of all of Battle Force 2000 except for Dodger, because we're going to be making a Sonic Fighters figure of him later. So it's Peter Griffin and Roadhouse by Joe Hunter. I know that's a Family Guy reference. Learning the wrong lessons. Ooh.
I don't know.
Mm.
I see Zaves was talking about how like X-Men has the gold team, the blue team.
Teams.
I was thinking like Avengers, West Coast, East Coast, all that.
Secret Avengers.
Yeah.
But X-Men, you have the Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, Excalibur, X-Force. So, yeah, I mean, you got multiple teams, and it can be done. I mean, G.I. Joe, but I think in order for G.I. Joe to get to that point, I think it needs to be around a couple years, selling thousands and thousands of books.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do these weird niche teams with like Downtown.
Yeah, that we would all love.
Yeah. Airtight, CBR, send him in,
Yeah.
DJ. Well, he's kind of dead, so.
Maybe not in this universe. I don't know.
No,
Energon universe.
Energon universe DJ. Oh gosh, that'd be tripping.
Just imagine all the dead people coming back to life in Energon universe.
You got Energon. Energon's like the magic cure for everything. It's like, oh, Sneak Peek's dead. Here's some Energon. Sneak Peek's dead again. Energon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing. Why? And Sneak Peek has to die in the Energon universe. He's died in every comic universe. Sometimes twice.
Yeah, it's true.
But, Crystal Ball, Crystal Ball's going to pop out soon. Oh, Zazel showing some love for Shebang. DJ should team up with Shebang. Now, my favorite part about Shebang is he's a silent warrior, just like Snake Eyes, except he has the vow of silence.
Yeah.
So he's choosing not to tell his team, it's really important for me to keep this vow of silence, but not let you inform you with words that there's a squad of Vipers up ahead. I will just use hand signals and you have to figure it out.
But as long as he keeps quiet and everybody else dies, he did the right thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, the best part about the comic universe, as well as the cartoon universe, is all the additional characters they gave us. And why does that make me happy? Because we have Super 7, still making the Reaction Plus line. We still have some leaks of Ramar. And I wish I remember some of the other leaks from Super 7. But
Fatal Fluffies, right? Aren't they coming?
Yes, Fatal Fluffies. Oh man. But I mean, that's good. Oh, Zazel, no valve silence in the Deke cartoon, which reminds me that I did get the Deke cartoon for Christmas. So I can say that my wife gave me Deke for Christmas. And I know people that, oh, Ronnie goes, I know people that want to see Skidmark in the Energon universe. Now, would he be Skidmark or Treadmark? Casey?
Skidmark.
Skidmark.
Skidmark's a reoccurring theme on Podcast from the Pit.
I love Skidmark. I think he's a great character. I mean, he belongs up there with Crankcase and Clutch and, kind of sort of Cross Country. Cross Country to me is the hybrid of the driver tanker.
Yeah, I would say so.
But
yeah, he was part of that tank crew in the issue where they were going against October Guard, but then they ended up going against like a bunch of Cobras, I think.
No, yeah, the Cross Country is one of the 3 survivors from the raid in Benzine.
I was talking about the IDW, Larry Hama's run on there. They were doing something where they were going to sell tanks to one of the foreign countries, and they were going up against Russia's tanks to see which one. And they had all their tankers in one tank.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to find that one.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty well versed up to issue 200, so that's probably somewhere in the 2 to 250.
Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I got them in trade paperbacks, so I just read them through there.
That's actually really good that you have all those trades, because Skybound has kind of been non-committal towards doing the compendiums like they just did for anything else. Not Transformers, not G.I. Joe IDW or G.I. Joe Devils, nothing. So they've been non-committal. I don't know. Circle back, they did a great job on the compendium. So they know what work went into it, but they did a great job. So, well, is there anything else you want to talk about 2024, Casey? Anything vintage you got that you're really happy about? I probably asked you that already.
Vintage wise, I know it's a Motu thing, but I started getting my vintage Motu collection going. So I'm pretty happy with those. Got the Castle Grayskull and all that. I mean, still got some pieces I got to find for them. But as far as like vintage Joe stuff, I haven't really got a lot. I got a His 2 the other day. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you still have to get a couple. I think you got to get at least one missile, and you got to get the driver's pistol. I think that's the only 2 things that we're missing on that.
But yeah,
but we will be talking about the His 2 next year. That's why you got it, because I've been dying to talk about the His 2.
It's funny because I almost bought one maybe like 2 years ago. I was talking to Greg from Anything Joe's. We were looking at one. He was telling me how much he liked it. But I just didn't pull the trigger on it right then.
Yeah, Zazel's still loving Skidmark, telling people Skidmark should come with skids in a crossover. And Joe Hunter 73 got the Cobra Mamba for Christmas with its box. Good get.
I seen him open that. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love. You want to talk about, like, I could probably do a month of themed of, like, we're going to talk about helicopters this month, because it's just like, and I'm still on a helicopter kick personally. But because I think helicopters are awesome.
Me too.
But it's just like, I could just go on a kick. Like, yeah, we're just going to talk about this style of vehicle this month and this style of vehicle that, next month. There's just so many things to talk about toy wise and comics that it's just hard to fit it all in. And if I can,
have you done the Mamba before?
I have not done the Mamba yet.
I do love the Mamba.
Yeah, it's an easy. I think it's kind of easy to love. I
Yeah.
also think there's a lot of easily lovable things in the GI Joe line, and I like pointing out the ridiculous of those. And I love the ridiculous things because sometimes I love the fact that they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
I like far fetched stuff. I mean, real life, I work. I like getting away from stuff like that.
Joe Hunter 73, first time owning it. So welcome to the fun. Welcome to the fun
Welcome
of the
to the
Mobile
Mamba
Mamba.
family.
So
I got mine at Joe Fest like 3 or 4 years ago.
okay. Yeah, that's not something that came. I picked them up in a few collections. I have 2 of them now. And yeah, it's a solid vehicle. So
Trouble keeping the back fins on mine. They always fall off.
yeah, that what I ended up doing was, I made it like a little wedge out of some plastic,
Uh-huh.
so it's not permanent, and I just tap it in there with my finger, and then it works fine. And then when I'm done, I just pull it out. So this way, it puts the stress on it or pressure on it to work properly, and then you take them out, and then it does that. And I whittled them out of some plastic with a knife.
I was thinking about actually using like blue tack. It makes me so crazy when it just falls out sitting there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But this is what they do. That plastic wasn't made to last as long as it has. Ooh,
Yeah.
Joe Hunter 73, reminding us the thing to look forward to most is the Delta 17 Hind.
That, to my understanding, that's at least a couple years away, if not 3. Because if he can't get it done the way he wants, he's not going to do it, and I respect that.
Yeah, and that
It's either going to be good or he ain't doing it.
yeah, and I think what he's coming out with. I don't want to call it the Sentinel. I know it's not that, but the Century, the little tracked vehicle he's
Oh,
currently developing,
the Hellstorm.
Hellstorm. It looks interesting, but I think the Hind depends on the success of the Hailstorm.
And I know they're going to do another Joe Fest exclusive. So it's going to be like a 2-pack, if my understanding's right. It's going to be a 2-pack, probably repaints, but it'll be cool.
I want to see this girl in khaki. Honest to God, because I want to have an Olga figure from issue 66 of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But like right now, she fits perfectly as the Barovian, gulag, whatever she was, officer. But yeah, that's why Despero is one of my favorites. From
Oh, yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she is. So, but
Hey,
yeah,
it looks like Joe Hunter's going to do a review of his Mamba. That'd be nice.
Ooh, we'll have to reach out to him. We will have to reach out to him.
Yep.
Later.
For sure. He was on Podcast from the Pit a few weeks ago.
That's right.
I had a really good time.
Yes.
You were on there with us. That's right.
So, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of my biggest vintage get from this year. I really haven't bought a lot of vintage this year.
I haven't either.
Because it's just been, for me, it's been mostly about finally neatening up and creating room and, financing other hobbies. And I'm trying to think. The last thing I bought was the Battle Force 2000 tank, the snow tank. And I can't think of its name. The one that splits apart and the little mini tank comes out. Hold on.
So while he's doing that, Podcast from the Pit will be doing 1994 on Saturday, 8 a.m. and it should be fun. Ronnie's going to be on again, so it should be a good time.
Yeah, so it's this tank. I can't think of the name of the tank. But
Me either.
yeah. But this is the last thing I got, so I guess it's my find of the year.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of vintage Joe this year, which is weird. I think it's because I'm wrapping up on pretty much all the vintage stuff I really wanted.
Yep.
But I did manage to get hands on a lot of the, like I said, the Motu classics. Those aren't real vintage; they're like 15 years, I guess. And some of the vintage Motu figures from 82, 84.
Yeah. Well, that's, there's been just been a wealth of stuff coming out. Like I said, the Cup Triple T set, that was a home run. And so, well, looking forward to 2025, Casey. Do you have any things personally you're working on for your collection, or
I'm trying to stay up on cartoon collection. It's Motu. Trying to stay up as they come out, but I had to cancel my last couple pre-orders because of some financial stuff. I don't know. Probably get some more Dime Novel Legend figures.
yeah, more Delta 17.
Yeah, I've been just totally getting all the troop builders, trying to build them up when they had the 20% off. But they run sales like that again. I'll probably grab some more.
Yeah.
Right now, I guess the most important thing is I'm trying to make. I got a pretty decent collection, and I'm trying to make it more presentable.
Yeah, no, I get you. Zazel shared he got more Street Fighter Joes this year. So, yeah, watching his tournaments on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to write myself a note to link this below. When it wraps up, probably sometime tomorrow morning. So, yeah, no, he's been doing a wonderful job with his little boxing wrestling tournaments on his channel. They're fun. They're fun to watch.
For sure.
Yeah, my big thing for my collection next year is I'm probably going to do another toy show or two to finish selling off my extras.
Mhm.
And then I'm pretty much going to be done selling, other than maybe, Whatnot and eBay. And then basically the two big projects is, see you later, Zazel. And I want to finish my whale project that I've for 2 years now has been sitting to my left, unfinished with all the parts unbroken. I think the only thing it's missing is a perfect set of vanes. It has 4 vanes, but they're not the matched 1 to 4 set.
Yeah.
But the next thing I really want to work on is I have the 2002 headquarters, and I want to go through that and verify that I have everything for that. And then I want to finish that up. And then the last thing is I have this 2009. Oh, Dagon's joining us.
Hello, Dagon.
And I don't know what to do with the 2009 Rise of Cobra G.I. Joe Pit. It's sitting in a box that the glue has unsealed itself. Nobody wants to buy it for me. I'm tired of hauling it to toy shows. I don't know if I will get more money than joy of just opening something new and just playing with it. It's Ronnie Trickshot wants a crispy white V1 Storm Shadow for next year.
Did you see Zazel's comment?
Fitness Chaplin's t-shirt 2025 goals. He got that for me at Joe Fest in 2023, and he asked for the size. Well, I asked him for his size, and I gave him what he asked for. And us Americans do not wear as slim fits as other countries. I will just say that.
I like to be comfortable.
Yes. So, uh, yeah, but other than that, collecting goals, that's really it. But the biggest goal is for me to just have more of these regular conversations with you, Casey.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
always fun. Always have a good time.
yep, I got another difficult month personally coming up with what's been going on. So I'm going to try to make things more normal in my life but I know that I'm going to be involved in selling a house and buying another one. And I'm just waiting for, that shoe just got dropped on me this week. So the joys of helping out your elderly parents. And that's really the biggest thing I've been working on for the past 3 months now. So and I just want to be doing this more regularly. It's been a lot of fun. I like doing these live streams now. It's just been, it's hard when you're tired all the time to be like, hey Casey, let's talk Joe. And I know I'm not going to have the energy to do it.
Yeah. I always try to make myself available though.
Yeah, it's definitely not Casey's fault for any scheduling issues. It's been me. Just I haven't really said much. But for anybody listening, my dad had a stroke at the end of October, and it's been a challenge. He's been in the hospital since, and we've had to come to some realizations as a family about where we're moving, or what we're moving forward. My mom and my dad have to make some huge life adjustments coming up, and that's really. I've been really working on that with them for the last period of time. So that's, and it's hard with work and my own, and my wife and son. So that's been, Casey joined up, we had a conversations in May, and then, in June, it was just like, this is working out well, and that's really helped the channel a lot. And, that's the big thing. I love doing this with you, Casey, and I just want to keep doing it for 2025.
Yeah, for sure. My shirt says I'd rather be podcasting.
Yeah, and I've been wearing this one a lot. This is for my friends. Everything's going to be okay, and it's a Terminator shirt. Give them the thumbs up. That's for my buddies at Robert Barons Inc. Obligatory plug for them because they're awesome. And I know he listens too, so he probably gets a kick out of the fact when I mention it. So yeah. Well, I mean, that's really it. Casey, do you have anything you want to say before we close out?
Nope, just thanks for inviting me on. I've had a great time. I mean, we were having a lot of fun doing this as whenever you would ask, but when you asked me at Joe Fest to be your co-host, I was very honored. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for accepting that offer because it really did help me out. And with that, just want to. That's Ronnie. Little couple things. Joe Hunter, thank you for your thoughts, and and as well, Ronnie. That's why you got to buy all the toys, all of them. Well, no, you can't buy all the toys because eventually you do run out of room. Then you have to get a storage unit. Then you have to pay for the storage unit, and then you realize why the heck are you paying for a storage unit?
Right.
Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. I'm done. It fits in my house, or it doesn't fit at all. And
sometimes you got to move other toys to get new toys.
yeah, you definitely do. And that could be literally a show all of its own. What I've learned from doing the toy show the 3 times that I've done it.
Yeah.
I can at least tell you about the Connecticut small show market. I can't compare to Joe Fest. So, if I was vending at Joe Fest, I probably would have, it would have been a different experience. We'll leave it at that, I'm sure. But yeah, 2025. Casey, you and I are going to be at Joe Fest
Yep.
podcasting.
Podcasting, yep.
Yep.
And it's going to be different. I mean, they're doing something for us. I'm not even sure what they're doing for us yet.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting through the new year. I think both of us should probably, with Chaplain System Motor Pod and you with Podcast from the Pit, we should probably reach out to Ed.
Yeah.
And just get a few things probably squared away on both of our ends. And just to know what we're doing and, what we're doing. Again.
Yeah. I'm hoping to do at least one show each while we're there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. So ready to close?
I am good to go.
All right. So
my alarm's set for 4 a.m.
Ooh. Yeah, we did it early because I feel bad for Casey every time we do this late at night. And this has been Chaplain System Motor Pod. Thank you for watching or listening. So if you liked what you watched, you liked what you listened to, please like, rate, share. Anything you do helps grow and improve this podcast. Comment below, what we did right, what we did wrong. I read it all. I might not like criticism, but I will at least read it. And for more Chaplain System Motor Pod, you can find me on social media at Chaplain Joe Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, where we live stream. Maybe I should start announcing when I'm going to do live streams. And then you can always just email at chaplainjoepod@gmail.com. And Casey, tell everybody where they can find you.
They can find me at Podcast from the Pit on YouTube. You can find us on we have a very active Facebook group, Podcast from the Pit. We're on X, Podcast from the Pit, and our email is podcastfromthepit@gmail.com.
So with all that out of the way, Casey's dog would yeah, we can hear your dog.
She wants attention.
She wants attention, but she also wants to remind you that the Chaplain Systems Motor Pod is the strange, but not a strange, nerdy little brother of the Pint, a pop culture podcast. And with all of that said and done, one final missile for the masses: be decent to one another.
Take care, everybody.